On an otherwise quiet college campus, an unsettling night of intimidation unfolded, escalating into a confrontation no one would soon forget. The infamous Steel Vipers biker gang, known for their ruthless behavior, decided to prey on what they assumed was an easy target, a quiet student minding his own business. But what they didn't know was that Nathan Cole was not someone to be underestimated. Beneath his unassuming exterior lay the discipline of a former Army Ranger and the skill of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. They relied on fear to silence their victims, but Nathan's resolve ran deeper than they could have ever imagined. It all began with Liam Carter, a timid freshman who preferred books to confrontation. He was making his way through the dimly lit parking lot after a long night of studying at the library. The Steel Vipers had recently claimed the lot as their unofficial gathering spot, their deafening engines and crude jeers polluting the once peaceful campus. Liam kept his head down, gripping his backpack tightly, hoping to pass unnoticed. "Hey, kid!" The voice was gruff, laced with mockery. Tyson Grizz Blake, the gang's hulking enforcer, called out to him. "Where you rushing off to? Don't you want to hang out?" Liam's heart pounded. He hesitated, his instincts screaming at him to keep walking, but fear held him in place. I, I have to go," he stammered. Grizz stepped into his path, towering over him with a twisted grin. "What's the hurry? We're just being friendly," he said, his tone dripping with false warmth. Before Liam could react, another biker yanked his backpack from his grip, tossing it between the others like a game of cruel keep-away. Their laughter echoed in the cold night air, drowning out Liam's panicked protests. From the shadows of the nearby gym, Nathan Cole watched the scene unfold, his sharp gaze analyzing every detail. He had seen the Steel Vipers lurking around campus before, heard the whispered rumors of their intimidation tactics. But tonight, it wasn't just talk. Tonight, they had a victim right in front of them. Without hesitation, Nathan stepped forward, his movements deliberate, his expression unreadable. "That's enough." The gang's laughter died as they turned to face him. A man of average height but undeniable presence, Nathan radiated a quiet confidence that made them pause. A figure emerged from the pack. Vic Iron Harlan, the gang's leader. His leather jacket bore the Steel Viper's emblem, a coiled snake wrapped around a clenched steel fist. He studied Nathan with narrowed eyes, his lips curling into a smirk. "And who the hell are you?" Nathan's expression didn't change. He simply gestured toward the discarded backpack. "Just returning what doesn't belong to you." Grizz let out a low chuckle, cracking his knuckles. "Big talk, tough guy. You really think you can take all of us?" Nathan's eyes remained locked onto Vic's. "I think you should walk away." The air grew thick with tension, the weight of an unspoken challenge pressing down on the group. The bikers circled Nathan like wolves sizing up prey, but he remained unfazed. Liam, frozen in fear, could only watch in stunned silence. He should have felt relief that someone had come to his aid, but guilt gnawed at him. Nathan was alone against a gang of hardened men. Vic took a step closer, voice low and taunting. "You've got guts, I'll give you that. But guts won't save you when you're outnumbered." Nathan met his gaze without flinching. "Try me." Vic's smirk vanished. With a sudden burst of aggression, he swung at Nathan's face, aiming to put him down with a single blow. But he never connected. Nathan sidestepped with practiced ease, catching Vic's wrist mid-swing and twisting it back in a swift, controlled motion. A sharp cry of pain tore from Vic's throat as his own momentum worked against him. Before he could recover, Nathan swept his legs out from under him, sending him crashing onto the pavement. The gang hesitated, their confidence wavering. In mere seconds, their leader had been overpowered. Grizz let out a furious growl and charge, a heavy chain swinging in his grip. Nathan remained calm. At the last moment, he ducked, his movements fluid and precise. With a calculated strike, he drove a powerful kick into Grizz's knee, forcing the massive enforcer to collapse with a pained grunt. Nathan straightened, his voice cold and steady. "Anyone else?" The remaining bikers exchanged uncertain glances, their bravado replaced by unease. This wasn't the way things were supposed to go. Vic scrambled to his feet, his face contorted with rage. He cradled his injured wrist, seething. "This isn't over," he spat. "You'll regret this." He motioned for his crew, and one by one, they backed away, retreating to their bikes. Engines roared to life, the sound filling the night air as they sped off into the darkness. Nathan exhaled slowly, the adrenaline ebbing from his system. Turning to Liam, he found the freshman still standing in stunned silence. His face was pale, his hands trembling. "You okay?" Nathan asked, his voice gentler now. Liam nodded, barely able to speak. Thank you. I didn't know what to do." Nathan handed him the backpack, his expression softening. "Stick to well-lit areas. Don't walk alone if you can help it." Liam swallowed hard. "But if they come back," his voice faltered, uncertainty creeping in. "Campus security won't do anything. They don't care about rules." Nathan sighed. He knew the type. He knew the fear that came with feeling powerless. "Then you make them care," he said. "You speak up. You don't let fear win." Liam held on to those words, nodding slowly. For the first time that night, he felt something other than fear. He felt hope. Nathan knew Liam was probably right. The Steel Vipers thrived on fear, manipulating weaknesses in the system to maintain their grip. They counted on people staying silent, on authority figures looking the other way. But allowing them to continue unchecked? That wasn't an option. "Then we'll handle it another way," Nathan said, his voice calm but resolute. By morning, word of the confrontation had spread like wildfire. The entire campus was buzzing, the tension from the previous night still lingering in the air. A video captured by a student named Connor Dre had gone viral. It showed Nathan standing his ground against the gang, unwavering, fearless. His skill, his composure, it all left people in awe. Comments flooded in. "Who is this guy? Absolute legend." Finally, someone put those guys in their place. But not all the attention was positive. The video didn't just make Nathan a hero, it painted a target on his back. The Steel Vipers were not the type to let humiliation slide. That afternoon, at a rundown warehouse on the outskirts of town, Vic and his crew gathered, the air thick with anger. Vic paced relentlessly, replaying the night's events in his head, his fists clenching at the memory of being taken down so effortlessly. "He's just one guy," Grizz muttered, wincing as he rubbed his injured knee. "We can take him." "Not like last time," Vic snapped, his eyes burning with fury. "We underestimated him once. That won't happen again. Next time, we come prepared." Back on campus, Nathan kept to himself. He had no desire for recognition, no interest in being anyone's hero. His only concern was ensuring that others, especially Liam, were safe. He could feel it in his gut. The Steel Vipers weren't done. His military training told him to anticipate retaliation, to stay one step ahead. So he spent his free time quietly scouting the campus, noting possible choke points, blind spots, anywhere an ambush could happen. Meanwhile, Connor Dre was reveling in his newfound popularity. The video had made him an overnight sensation, and he was soaking up the attention. "You're famous, man," Connor said, grinning as he caught up to Nathan outside the cafeteria. "Everyone's talking about the video. You're like a real-life action hero." "Take it down," Nathan said flatly. Connor blinked, caught off guard. "What? Why?" "People love it." Nathan's expression hardened. "Because this isn't a game." His voice was quiet, but there was an edge to it. "You just made it personal for them. Now they're coming back, And when they do, it won't just be me they go after. Connor's excitement drained from his face. I, I didn't think of that. Think about it now, Nathan said, walking away. That evening, his instincts were proven right. The deep, guttural rumble of motorcycle engines filled the air as the Steel Vipers returned, their presence like a storm rolling onto campus. Students scattered at the sight of them, fear rippling through the crowd. Vic dismounted first, his smirk dripping with arrogance as his eyes scanned his surroundings. Then he saw Liam. "You didn't learn your lesson, huh?" Vic sneered, stalking toward him with slow, deliberate steps. Liam froze, his stomach twisting into knots. Before he could respond, a familiar figure stepped between them. "Leave him alone," Nathan said, his voice steady, a quiet storm brewing beneath his words. Vic tilted his head, amusement flickering in his gaze. "You've got a death wish, don't you?" "No," Nathan replied. "Just a job to finish." This time the gang was ready. Grizz and another biker lunged at Nathan at the same time, but he moved like water, sidestepping one and using the momentum of the other to send him crashing to the pavement. Vic, watching for an opening, pulled a knife. The blade flashed under the dim campus lights as he slashed at Nathan in a series of quick, aggressive strikes. Nathan's every movement was precise, measured. He dodged each attack effortlessly, his training taking over like second nature. Then in a single fluid motion, he seized Vic's wrist, twisted it, and sent the knife skittering across the pavement. Before Vic could react, the sharp wail of sirens split the night air. Campus security had arrived, their flashing lights painting the scene in streaks of red and blue. The bikers hesitated. Their bravado flickered, uncertainty creeping into their faces. Vic locked eyes with Nathan, his expression twisted with fury. "This isn't over," he spat, his voice thick with venom. Then with a sharp motion, he signaled his crew. One by one, they retreated, their bikes roaring as they disappeared into the night. Nathan exhaled, his heartbeat steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. Behind him, Liam hesitated, then took a shaky step forward. You didn't have to do that," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "But thank you." Nathan nodded, his gaze distant. No one should have to face this alone. In the weeks that followed, the campus took action. Self-defense workshops were organized. Safety measures were reinforced. And despite his initial reluctance, Nathan found himself roped into leading some of the training sessions. Liam, inspired by Nathan's courage, attended every single one. With each class, his confidence grew. He learned not just how to protect himself, but how to stand his ground, how to stop being afraid. The Steel Vipers never returned. Their power had been broken, not just by Nathan, but by the campus itself, by a community that refused to be ruled by fear. For Nathan, this had never been about being a hero. It had been about doing what was right, using his skills not for glory, but to protect those who needed it. And for Liam, it was a lesson in strength, not just the kind that comes from muscle, but the kind that comes from standing together, from refusing to be silenced, from knowing that fear only has power if you let it.